Traditionally, when we talk about swing states, also called purple states, battleground states, or toss-up states, we're talking about the states that are too close to call. The states where, according to the best available polling data, either candidate might win. But what about states in which there have been either very few polls or no reliable polls at all? That's what I call a wild card state. Sure, we can have a good guess about where the state might go based on historical trends, but without proper polling, we can't reasonably be certain about who the state will vote for. If we define a wild card state as one in which there are fewer than 3 reliable statewide polls for the 2016 presidential election, that is 0, 1, or 2, then about half of the states in the US qualify as wild cards. Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Dakota, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, West Virginia, Washington, and Wyoming. Even though there is insufficient polling data to indicate with any strong degree of certainty who these states will go to, it would be ridiculously unsatisfying to consider them all toss-ups. So as more information comes out, I'll hopefully be able to reduce this list in future poll update videos. But in the meantime, let's work with what little data we have to determine who these states are most likely to go to.
Crooked Hillary Clinton.
He goes after women. He goes after Muslims.
Crooked Hillary.
He is hurting our unity at home.
Crooked Hillary Clinton.
He can say whatever he wants to say about me. I really could care less.
Let's face it, we have a lot of wildcard states on our list. That's a lot of uncertainty, but we can have some expectation about who most of our wildcard states will vote for by looking at what little polling data exists and the next best thing, historical patterns. So let's define a total toss-up state as one in which either A, the available polling data contradicts historical patterns and the lead shown in the polls by either candidate is less than 10 points, or B, the state is historically not solid blue or solid red, and there is either no polling data or the available polling data favors a candidate with a lead of less than 5 points. By that definition, only one state is a total toss-up, Kentucky. In this state, there has only been one general election poll collected by RCP polling, and it puts Clinton ahead by only 3 points. Not a very strong lead, and considering that Kentucky is traditionally a red state, that one poll's data is reasonably questionable. So we can consider Kentucky to be a total toss-up. It's a wildcard state because so little polling is available, and it's a swing state because what little data we have is contradictory. But most states are not like Kentucky. In fact, for every other wildcard state on our list, where some polling data is available, the polling is in agreement with historical trends. That is to say that if the 1 or 2 polls say Clinton's going to win, the state is also historically Democratic, and the same goes for Trump and historically Republican states. But for a large segment of the wildcards, there is no polling data at all, or the polling data indicates a lead of less than 3 points. Until proper polling data exists stating otherwise, they should all be considered swing states. But historical trends can give us some indication of who these states will likely vote for. Of these wildcard states, the ones that are historically Republican are Alaska, Alabama, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. The ones that are historically Democratic are Maine, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Washington. Also Washington, D.C. Now, all the remaining states on our wildcard list have at least one reliable poll, but not all leads are considered equal. If the lead is by 10 points or more, I call it a solid lead. If it is between 6 and 10 points, I call it likely. If the lead is less than 6 but more than 3, I say that the state leans in this or that direction. By those definitions, the states that lean Republican are Mississippi and South Carolina, and none lean Democratic. New Mexico will likely go for Clinton, while Indiana, Tennessee, and Texas will likely go for Trump. The solid Democratic states are Delaware, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Vermont. And the remaining states, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and West Virginia, are all solidly Republican. Now let's break down what all this really means in terms of electoral points. When it comes to the wildcard states, which remember includes only those where little or no polling data is available, here is where the electoral college points will go. Trump can expect 36 electoral votes from solid states, 60 from likely states, 15 from those that lean in his direction, and 29 points from those that are historically Republican. That gives him a grand total of 140 electoral points, with 111 backed by the polls. Hillary Clinton can expect 37 Electoral College points from states that are solidly Democratic, 5 from those that are likely to vote in her favor, and 0 from those that lean in her direction. 27 Electoral College points favor Clinton based on historical trends. This would give her a total of 69 Electoral College points from wildcard states, with 42 of those backed by polling. Kentucky's 8 Electoral College votes must be considered a total toss-up, and there is a total of 64 Electoral College points in what can be reasonably considered swing states. Now these totals might look really bad for Clinton, but remember, this is only an assessment of the wildcard states. About half of US states remain, and the polling data on them is far more reliable. So I'll break down the polling data for the remaining states in part 3. In the meantime, if you want a little more information about my methodology, be sure to check out part 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what question you'd like me to cover next. Also let me know who you're supporting and why, and who you think is going to win this election.